Hey everyone. Uh happy I don't know what day it is. Oh man. Happy Wednesday. Today sucked. Not down that bad. Okay. Down $990 5 cents. But I'm just so upset at myself for how I played KWE because it was such a good opportunity and I just completely fumbled the bag. Um So, this is what I did, and then I'll talk about how I would have played it if my head was on right. So I saw pre-market, this was spiking up. Initial shorting seemed to be happening at around 8.5. So I took my short there. I think this was a good entry, but it started grinding up with increasing volume. So at this point, um, and even like this point, I should have covered. Um, if I don't cover, whatever. But I definitely shouldn't have added here into the halt up because this squeezed up a lot. Um, and to be honest, I shouldn't have traded this entirely because it was breaking out on the daily with volume. Um, so yeah, I mean this is like what the daily is looking like. So I shouldn't have even touched this, but I touched it, okay? This entry shouldn't have happened. There was no slowing momentum. It was squeezing up hard with lots of volume. We halt for 10 minutes, squeezes up some more. And then as I'm seeing this shorting happen here, and let me actually just pull up um, the pen. As I started seeing the shorting happen at um, around here, I was at that point I had another entry. Then we sort of chopped for a bit, came up higher, and this faked me out, this candle right here. I thought we were breaking out for higher. I ended up covering my position. It was this candle. Um, and then we chop, and then you know, now we're dumping, and I'm just sad. I'm a sad boy. So I took this short. I added here. I added here. I covered here. At 15. I with my strategy, I could have added again here, and then I think I would have had an average around 11 something or 12. After this entry, my average was 10.3. Um, so I don't know. I'm hoping it would have been like around here. Um, but I really don't know. But again, I shouldn't have traded this at all. And given I did trade it, this trade I think was fine. There is nothing wrong with it. But on this breakout, this is overwhelming volume. So I should have just covered. I think I was down quite a bit. I was down like $400 at this point. But this would have been so much better to play patient. Because I'm down 400, I cut there. I see this, I enter, I maybe cover a little bit here. On this, we don't have a ton of volume. I would have been more comfortable holding with my average cost, maybe even added one more time, and then, take profits here. Would have worked out perfectly, but I completely fucked it. TPET and MRIN though, I did trade well. So this one I started seeing this pop up. Pre-market, um, I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Pre-market, it did have like this huge sell-off. So we're seeing like here. Oh, I hate when this happens, bro. Uh, Here, there's like a bunch of overhead resistance. So I was like looking at this as my potential entry. So I saw this popping. I got into a starter position here. It came up a little bit. But you see how volume isn't like super high like at this point. So I added into this wick. Um, then this started um, selling off. It sold off really fast, which I'm happy about. So I covered some here, covered some here, covered here, covered here. It had big size at $1 and the volume was fading, so I didn't think there'd be a push down. Um, and yeah, I was like looking at this area. This is like the start of the move, right? Ideally would have liked to be here, but we didn't flush down under one. So $200 on that trade, super solid for how much I risked. Next we have T-Pet. So T-Pet had like this chopping action, and then it ended up squeezing up above VWAP. So see how like above VWAP it was getting shorted. It had this uptrend action, but we started, if we see the volume here, we started reaching these peaks of resistance, right? So I took a starter position here, thinking it would go up a little more and I could add, but it didn't. So it cracked immediately. I covered some here, here, and here. As soon as I covered here, it had a big leg down. So a little upset about that, but it's okay. All in all, today, I don't think I will ever make this mistake again with Kui. I was super tired today pre-market, and so I went back to bed, and I don't think I would ever take this again. Like I just need to be patient. This trade was fine, but like it's breaking out on the yearly. Like there's just no reason for me to look at this as a trade, especially considering the run-ups it's had. So I'm upset about it. But we move on. I think I climbed my way back. I was disciplined in my other trades. I entered Kui again, right here, and I should have entered with more size. I should have went in with like a 2K position instead of 1,000. And then I covered into here. So I made I think like 120 on that, and then I covered here, but I should have held maybe a little longer considering this wasn't climbing back up to my average cost. I was a little nervous here with the support forming above VWAP, but still like my risk was good considering the reward. Like if we think about it, if I enter here, I have this much downside potential. Maybe looking at where we halted as a potential profit target, this risk at this point, like I'm not risking much. Like I'm looking at just like 15 with this downside potential right down to here. So um I covered early. Now we're sort of breaking down, and the other way I could have played this is adding here, but this was looking super bullish, right? We have this like uptrending action, and then we finally cracked below, but then VWAP holds, and so I was just like, this was looking super bullish, so I wasn't comfortable in it. Different day, I don't trade this. Different day, I cover here, um, but I gotta hold myself accountable. This was not good, and I really got faked out here, which I'm sad about because if I just flip that into a short, I'm getting out right now. For break even, and this is like something I was saying, right? I'm okay with this risk. Either I'm okay with the risk or I cut my losers early. Um, so yeah. Anyways, that's today's trade recap. Gotta head to work now. Um, I'm okay. Like I'm glad I climbed my way a little bit out of it. I didn't wipe all my gains from yesterday and today, which is good. I did take another trade yesterday that wasn't in the trade recap. Um, that was a $100 trade. So yeah, but I really gotta avoid these because when it's breaking out on the yearly, it's risky. I gotta wait for that clear sign of resistance, which we started having in this range. So thank you for watching. I will try my best not to be greedy and hop into these again. And I will, if I do, I will try and manage my position better, not covering for a crazy loss. Maybe adding one more time again. Like I had 3 ads, so my max is 5. If I take that fourth one, which I adjusted, my entry strategy based on what I was seeing, so I'm not stuck in crazy drawdowns, right? I wasn't in a crazy drawdown. I was down 1.3k, I think. If I add here, maybe cover some of my position here, try and add close to it again, it would have played out green for sure. So could have played it differently. Shouldn't have traded it to begin with. This isn't an A plus if it's breaking out on the yearly, but we move on. We learn, we move on. This is the journey. And yeah, thank you for watching, and peace.